homie. I tried to chop your ass up, boy. You in the water.
Move ahead. Enemy cancel last. I ain't about to die yet. Dropping ammo here.
Grenade out!
Broken.
Moving. I just gotta
Nah,
catch
come
my
get
breath.
us, man. Come get us.
So he was the last one of his team, too, bro.
Throw it back.
Still on green.
He on top.
No, he's not in.
Good mortar strike. He's in there. Yo, he dropped here. Oh, my dumb ass.
Damn, I thought there was a fucking smoke.
What?
Oh, what the fuck? Drive it out. Chill. Ah, shit.
Let's get that bird spinning. Finish up. We're airborne in 3. Word came down. We are green to go. So gear up and grab your chutes. We're going to the war zone. You are cleared hot on all threats. Watch your ass down there.
No, there's kids on the second floor, and I'm trying to find the fucking staircase. America, check your gear. We're holding ground right now. We're going to the
I want that bird ready in 3 mics. Relay those coordinates. Head shed gave the green light. We're deploying you to the front lines.
Where you want to drop?
Grab your chutes. Rules of engagement are simple. Weapons free on all threats.
Fuck. Let's go here. Shit, about to get fucking ran over. Oh, thank God. No. Yep, fucking knew it.
You think I'm gonna let you die?
Thank you.
Taking effective fire.
Yeah, I gotta grab my loadout quick. Yep, he's on me, sniper. You could probably get him from the side. There's no way, dude. He's running up the hill. Oh, there's 2 of them. That's great. Coming back.
Enemy here.
Coming back. Take that. Thanks. Nice killing, my friend. Nice killing.
Frag out. Tossing smoke grenade.
Oh. I need ammo. Fuck. Roger. Oh, yeah, what the fuck, dude?
Throwing smoke.
Just go.
¿De dónde? Ok, ven. Acá, a este. ¡No, güey! ¿Por qué?
Damn. Yeah, no. No, there's no way that guy's not fucking hacking. Oh, good.
Moving. Threats in there, cancel that.
Doing us all proud downrange. Time for assessment.
Oh man, whole time the mic ain't been on either. Come on. Ah damn, what am I doing? I'm the worst streamer ever. I'm talking this shit the whole time.
Over $500 million in prizes have been awarded to date. That's more than 500 winners a week, 52 weeks a year, every year. This week, we're awarding an incredible $1 million prize or more guaranteed. Feel that joy? You can too. Claim your free entry today, and your big win could be...
I've always liked the SIG Rattler, but now it's evolved to be the best gun in its class, narrow as that class may be. The Rattler is an ultra-compact 300 blackout PDW, smaller and lighter than my MP5A3, even with this Romeo 8 optic that weighs nearly a pound installed on it. Even so, the Rattler in 300 blackout, substantially more powerful, more versatile, with a much longer range than the 9mm MP5, offering capability mirroring the Soviet 7.62 used in the AK-47 with supersonic loadings. In terms of pure noise reduction, both calibers can achieve very low sound signatures with the right combination of subsonic ammo and an efficient suppressor.
God, that sounds amazing, dude. Holy crap, that's quiet. Okay.
But 300 blackout substantially more powerful and offers greater range. Moving at the same subsonic speed, a 150 grain 9mm round is going to be about 30% less powerful than a 210 grain subsonic 300 blackout projectile.
You guys?
While the more aerodynamic, higher ballistic coefficient 300 blackout rounds will have a much longer effective range as well. If you want to go from supersonic AK-47-like performance to subsonic capabilities that greatly exceed the MP5 with a similar sound signature, all you need is a mag change. The 300 blackout round itself is amazing, and so's the Rattler. Again, I've always been a fan of the Rattler, but let me explain why the Rattler LT is different this time. It's brought this platform really to the apex of its design, which I can now recommend to you without reservation, along with other legendary favorites of mine that I've reviewed on this channel, like the Beretta 1301 or, I don't know, the Glock 19. The Rattler is the smallest member of the MCX family of assault rifles manufactured by SIG Sauer. We're starting with a gun that an AR-15 user is just going to be able to pick up for the first time and use right away. Controls identical to the AR-15. Manual of arms the same. The guns even share a number of parts and accessories. The MCX even has the capability to mate up to an AR-15 or an M4 lower. Here is my first gen with an M16 lower in the conversion kit installed. That commonality with the AR-15 is likely what made it so appealing to the special operations units using this incredible firearm. And for that matter, some of the spec op contracts that the Rattler won required the ability to work with an M4 lower. But it's far more than an AR. It's a short stroke, adjustable gas piston operated platform that's incredibly modular. The MCX isn't even 10 years old yet, but SIG's evolved this platform some ways since its introduction, especially the Rattler. The first generation Rattler employed a comically short 5.5-inch barrel that was so jarring to shoot that that's how the Rattler earned its name. It also had a number of proprietary-ish parts that weren't interchangeable with other SIG MCX rifles, making the Rattler not truly an MCX, but more of like an Alabama cousin wife of the MCX series, if you will. That all changes today with the LT. The Rattler LT now completely parts interchangeable with the current generation of MCX LT rifles, LT handguards, barrels, stocks, optics, muzzle devices, bolts, bolt carriers, whatever. All interchangeable now with the Rattler LT. That is really the big deal. It's about as modular as it gets now, and most of this was driven by operator input from the special operations community using the gun. They wanted the Rattler to work with other MCXs, but that's not all they asked for. They wanted the gun to be smaller, lighter, while being just as durable as prior Rattlers and the PDW style MCXs. Depending on the variant, the LT series of MCX rifles can be up to 3/4 of a pound lighter than legacy MCX carbines, mainly through changes to the upper receiver. Through extensive testing and development, SIG's managed to lighten the weight of the upper receiver by shaving ounces off of components in the upper, including the handguard and the receiver itself, but without compromising on the Rattler's durability. It was famously said of one of my favorite cars of all time, the Toyota Land Cruiser, "We'll let you know how long the truck lasts once the first one wears out." That's where SIG is with the Rattler LT in testing. They put an absurd 85,000 plus rounds through a Rattler LT upper without it showing signs of slowing down. Therefore, any concerns about this weight reduction affecting durability would be unfounded. Indeed, it seems that the first several generations of the MCX may have been overbuilt at the expense of weight. All of the wear components inside the upper receiver are replaceable S7 steel parts, and those can be replaced as needed. For that matter, at 85,000 rounds, you probably should have replaced the bolt carrier group and the barrel and possibly substituted some of those wear components anyways. At that point, 85,000 rounds, you've shot a 5 Series BMW's worth of 300 blackout through your gun. Probably you're just replacing the entire upper anyways. According to SIG, while routine maintenance at 10,000 rounds is recommended, the Rattler LT can go over 20,000 rounds without small part replacement and will still reliable. I've got my first generation Rattler here. I subbed out the 5.5-inch barrel for the 6.75-inch barrel, the same one I've gotten here, but it's got the short 5-inch handguard and this M16 lower. This one is 1/3 of a pound heavier than the new LT with the MCX lower and a full-length handguard. With its new complete modularity, lighter weight, improved features, the LT is now possibly the perfect PDW. Now, if it's all right with you, I'd like to talk about the features now. The Rattler LT is going to come with a 6 3/4 or 7 3/4 inch full hammer forged barrel, your choice.
Mobile games are going big. Free Fire Max is now available on PC with Google Play Games. Play in matches, level up your build, and put your teamwork to the test. There's only one goal: to survive and be the last one standing. Experience combat like never before with mouse and keyboard controls and a larger PC screen. Get started by downloading Google Play Games today.
Still alive underneath here.
GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Or get $3,500 purchase cash on select GMC Sierra model.
The same length, 6 3/4 inch, as the LVAW or low visibility assault weapon contract variant of this gun purportedly used by Delta Force, good enough for me. This makes a lot of sense because my research indicates that although 300 blackout like 7.6239 is very efficient in shorter barrel lengths, there's a substantial performance increase going from the 5.5-inch barrel to the 6 3/4 inch or the 7.75-inch barrels, while not significantly affecting the size, weight, or handling of the gun. There's a reason, after all, why SOCOM is fielding the 6.75-inch and 7.75-inch variants of this gun in the LVAW and RSAR, respectively. The version I reviewed comes with a removable muzzle device that will accommodate SIG's taper lock suppressors, an excellent design that optimizes alignment with the suppressor in the bore, allegedly, improving accuracy and reducing point of aim and point of impact shift. And with taper lock shoulder barrels, it doesn't require the use of shims to properly time the muzzle device or the suppressor. I use the SLH300 suppressor, a highly functional but lightweight and low back pressure quick attach suppressor that screws onto the muzzle device with a couple of quick twists and locks into place using this handy locking ring. The Rattler LT uses a 2-position gas regulator valve with a plus and minus setting. You use the plus setting if the gun's dirty, if you need a little bit more gas to reliably cycle the action with subsonics, or if you just like to be hurt a little bit while you're on the range. While the minus setting works very well for firing supersonics or with suppressors that add a significant amount of back pressure. You can flip the paddle in a couple of seconds with one finger, and more importantly, this gas valve is This is important because while the Rattler LT comes optimized for use with SIG, there are a multitude of gas valves with different settings available from SIG, and SIG will even assist you at the customer service level in determining which gas valve will be best for your planned setup. Replacement valves are a little stout at $150, but you're talking about an incredible level of customization with the ability to install a gas valve specifically for your combination of barrel length and suppressor. As you can see in this comparison, the new LT handguard has more M-LOK slots and is slimmer and more ergonomic than the original kind of blocky Rattler handguard. While it omits the QD sling socket from the old handguard, you now have a lot more real estate to M-LOK QD socket wherever you like. LT upper receiver is blocky, slimmer, more lightning cuts than the old Rattler. Moving back to the stock, the excellent Rattler Minimalist stock has been replaced with the Minimalist Plus stock, which has a smaller buttstock footprint, includes a much more comfortable cheek riser. It also has this push button for folding the stock. Although the hinge is pretty much identical, the push button just makes it even easier to quickly fold away. The stock folds firmly into place without any play, as you can see here, quickly deployed without pressing any buttons or levers. This push button integration was also at the request of a high-level special operations unit who I can't identify in this video. Similarly, a Spec Ops unit also requested that the Rattler's gas operating system and bolt groups be compatible with other versions of the MCX being fielded by that unit and adjacent units using the MCX. Again, with the LT series of carbines, everything's going to be interchangeable unlike the prior Rattler, and for what it's worth, the Rattler LT lower also works with all current and prior generation MCX uppers. The Rattler can be easily swapped by the user from 5.56 to 7.6239 and 300 blackout by changing just the barrel and the bolt head. You can do it yourself, 2 screws and a Torx wrench. Everything else is identical and functionality between the calibers is identical. Obviously, you're going to 5.56 barrel and thus longer handguard would be more appropriate, but the good news is you can easily make those changes yourself. Just pop 2 pins and drop on a complete upper, or change the barrel and handguard yourself. Just takes a few minutes. Funny enough, all calibers use 5.8 by 24-inch threads for attaching muzzle devices and suppressors, again at the request of operators fielding this gun. I suppose this makes a whole heck of a lot of sense if you've got a bunch of 30 cal suppressors and muzzle devices lying around and you don't want to have a separate set of suppressors and muzzle devices specifically for 5.56. Now, how does it shoot? Wonderfully. SIG said these will be dropping with a 2-stage match trigger. If you don't like the trigger, good news, the Rattler LT has been tested with many third-party manufacturer AR-15 triggers and should work great with any, possibly all of them. I'm not a big fan of the grip that comes on the Rattler. It's a little bit too tiny, looks kind of like an ogre's dick, but the good news is you can put just whatever AR-15 grip that you want on there. There's my only complaint other than the cost, but we'll get there. This gun is fully ambidextrous. It uses excellent AR-15 style controls. It also adds this nifty bolt release lever here on the right-hand side of the gun. It's got an AR-15 style safety, a magazine release properly fenced off to prevent accidental depression. Sounds great with subsonics and the SLH suppressor. Recoil is more than controllable in 300 blackout, although you still get that Rattler effect if you fire this gun without a suppressor in place. It'll definitely wake you up. But felt recoil seems to be less than a short-barreled AK-47, probably due to the reduced moving mass of the operating system in the short-stroke operating system of the Rattler versus the long-stroke system. Before we get off that subject, I'm not saying this is the most comfortable gun to shoot in the world, especially compared to like a 20-inch AR-15, not by a long shot, but that isn't a euphemism for this gun sucks to shoot. It's actually great. I'm just saying this gun's a PDW, personal defense weapon. It's meant to render the H&K MP5 totally obsolete and fill that role with additional capability as well. It does this marvelously. So in terms of performance to size, this gun's incredibly capable and functional in a package that you could fit under a jacket, and I firmly believe it.
How's that, baby? There you go. Good job, brother.
Moot. All that being said, I consider it to be relatively light recoil relative to other PDW-sized rifles in this caliber. Note that the MCX bullet carrier is about half the size of a standard AR-15 bullet carrier, which means it's about half the weight. Less reciprocating mass typically means less recoil. Simply put, if there was ever a question about the legacy Rattlers being the best PDWs on the market, the Rattler LT has undeniably answered that. This is the most advanced and I think best PDW on the market. It's durable, it's reliable, modular, functional, compact, lethal, but you don't have to take my word for it. The MCX quickly becoming the carbine of choice for US SOCOM special operators. With the reduced signature assault rifle, the RSAR, the Razor, you've got the low visibility assault weapon or the LDAW, you've got the Seesaw, also known as the close assault weapon, or all used by special operators. But it's not just the US. There are now well over a dozen countries whose special operations units and police units have adopted the MCX as their weapon of choice, and this number is only going to increase. Military adoption has recognized this to be the most advanced PDW out there, and it only costs a mere $7.99. Just kidding, this motherfucker's almost $3,000 directly up your ass. But in my opinion, totally worth it. And really, the only reason the MCX is going to be limited in terms of consumer performance in the civilian market is because of that eye-watering pricing. But think about it. It does come in around the same price as the also premium, also used by SOCOM Blackout Honey. But that platform is a little bit less modular than the MCX with its diverse family configuration. It's also about the same price as LMT's Mars PDW, while arguably offering more modularity and capability, although AR-based systems like the LMT are going to have much more parts and accessories. I guess what I'm trying to say is this. If you want a small 300 Blackout just for fun, sure, you can build a short barrel AR-15 for $750 or less and get perhaps up to 75% of the performance of the Rattler. However, if you want to go that last 25%, get uncompromising reliability, durability, all the benefits of a short-stroke piston operating system in a package that has been adopted by some of the most dangerous and effective units in the world. It seems like $2,600 street price isn't exceptionally priced to its competition. Yes, the price point is a reflection of its premium status, but with guns, just like anything else, you often get what you pay for. In conclusion, I have shot this platform since it was introduced. I've reviewed at least 3 variants on this channel since my first look at this gun 5 years ago. The Rattler LT stands out as the pinnacle of personal defense weaponry, whether for a professional operator or a civilian seeking the utmost in reliability and capability. The Rattler LT is the real deal. And no, I wasn't paid to say that. We're viewer supported, mainly through Subscribestar, so help us out, please. Get on Subscribestar. We also give away like $2,000 worth of stuff every single month. That's our way of saying thank you. We do 511 giveaways. We give away 6 $250 gift certificates to Top Gun Supply, your online shooting sports superstore. We give away 4 $100 gift certificates to Blue Alpha, get you a great belt or a great sling to go with your Rattler. But at the end of the day, I'm just appreciative that you're watching. Tell me what you think about my video and the Rattler LT in the comments. I really appreciate you guys. Take care.
The next generation of artificial intelligence will open a brief wealth window that will give everyday Americans a unique opportunity to get in on the $15.7 trillion AI superboom. AI is the biggest wealth building opportunity in U.S. history. I'm James Altucher. If you don't already know me, nobody ever believes my predictions when I first make them until they come true. Like in 2007, I went on CNBC. Facebook was being valued at $1 billion then. And I said, no, it should be worth $100 billion. It laughed me out of the studio. But then when Facebook IPO'd a few years later and it was valued at $100 billion at the moment of IPO, CNBC had me back on and they actually apologized. They laughed at me again in 2013. I went on CNBC after the success of Bitcoin when it traded at just $114. Well, Bitcoin has gone up quite a bit since then. They're probably laughing at me right now because I'm making this prediction. But obviously, AI is going to have a huge effect on the economy. So it's not as bold a prediction, I guess, although the way I approach it is very different. And again, AI is probably going to add about $15.7 trillion to the U.S. economy. That's the real effect of this. And every one of those dollars is going to be, someone is going to benefit. Someone's going to have one of those extra $15 trillion. And this is not from what I call AI 1.0, where you invest in Microsoft or NVIDIA, the chip maker, or some of these companies that you've already read about a million times on the front page of the newspaper. This is what I call AI 2.0, and it's going to be the biggest wealth building opportunity that I've ever seen in my life, and probably the biggest wealth building opportunity over the past 150 years. This rare wealth window is about to open that will allow everyday people to get in on, again, this $15.7 trillion AI super boom. And look, there's all these gurus out there who are saying, oh, you can make $1 million with AI if you figure out what products to sell and make your own videos, blah, 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 make Instagram.
There's nearly a 20-year difference between the release of these two rifles, and they both seek to accomplish the same thing. Let's see how they do. In 2004, LMT released this monolithic rail platform, especially this upper. And in this configuration, it's a 12-inch barrel and 5.56. And when it came out, it really took the world by storm.
Yeah, and then we've also started to see, nearly 20 years later, SIG starting to manufacture stuff for the NGSW program, trying to get their MCX upper, the Spear LT, into Special Forces contracts. Well, to boil all of it down, this is effectively the same thing. It's an 11.5 with a piston system, cold hammer forged barrel, and 5.56. But with such a time disparity between these two uppers, we're curious which one really stacks up better for a civilian. And we may not necessarily figure out which one is specifically better, but we can bullet point and highlight some of the differences between these two. Instead of just throwing numbers around for hours, let's actually go shoot these things.
Yeah.
Cool. We have both these firearms configured about the same as possible. We were able to get the muzzle device off this MCX, which on these Gen 3s can be a little bit rare. We both have magnifiers, lasers, and lights. We're gonna start by shooting these unsuppressed, and we're gonna try to assess felt recoil. So we're just gonna shoot doubles at 10 yards and see how much these sights are actually jumping around on us. So, Drew, when you get all gassed up, let's rip it.
Oh, I thought there was a time box. All right, so I'm seeing the pattern.
And obviously we have two different shooters, but we can at least talk about how these guns...
Let's be real, the two different shooters definitely matters because Josh has no rust and I have
some,
all rust. This is hilarious.
That's okay. You've been busy editing. I've been over here shooting a bunch. So one of the things in regards to felt recoil or how much those sights are actually moving around on you has to do with how much gas is coming back into the system. And because both of these uppers are piston, there's another feature that we can get out of piston uppers, one of which is adjustable gas blocks. And that you can do that as well with DI or direct impingement guns, but it starts to become a little bit more complex. The gun starts to get gummed up, especially if you are adding suppressors onto the end of the firearm, which thank God we're gonna be able to do here. You can actually adjust how much gas and how much pressure is hitting your gas block and pushing that piston back to cycle. So that's one of the reasons we were curious to actually compare these two a little bit. You can run this drill and just see when I hammer that trigger as fast as I can twice, how much are my sights actually moving on the target? And that's gonna give you a little bit of a result there. So that's one thing to pay attention to. Piston uppers do go up in price a little bit. Drew's LMT upper is gonna cost closer to the $2,000, $2,200 price point-ish for just the upper. And it's an expensive upper. This SIG Spear LT upper is gonna be $1,700 for just the upper and the adapter to put it onto an AR lower. But you have to keep in mind that you also have to buy an MCX stock, and that's gonna get you closer to that $2,000 price point as well. So they're about the same price point, but they're doing things a little bit differently. And we'll continue to get into that too. Drew, anything to add?
I'm just gonna be embarrassed this whole dang video. You son of a gun. I knew I should have came out here and shot a lot last week. So one thing to note, both LMT and SIG sent us these uppers. So, you know, we don't really have a dog in the fight. We just test these things, we shoot them, we evaluate them, and we use them to make cool videos, so yeah.
There's 3 buttons on the top, right? The one that's the most prominent is the NV button for night vision. When you push that button, either accidentally or on purpose, because it's the most prominent, it goes into night vision mode. Well, when you unpush that button, after you start toggling around between your like, up, 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 wait, did it turn itself off? No, it didn't. Down, 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 down. What's going on here? Oh, it's in night vision mode. And then you push the button, finally you can see your dot again. The brightness that it brings you back to is full brightness, like the power of the sun, holy cow. Bloomed out, super crazy. And then you have to toggle between your brightness settings again, as opposed to something else, a lot of other optics out there. If you do accidentally or intentionally push the night vision button, and then you push it again, it takes you back to the setting that you were previously at that was set for the brightness that you were in. I'm gonna go back to 0. All right, we'll go low ready, 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. You good?
Yep.
Stand by. 152. Sick. 172. Not bad for high ready.
Okay. 154. 149. Good job.
Wow, faster from high ready.
Yeah.
What does the weight of your gun feel like as far as going from low ready or high ready? At least you've shot enough other guns like BCMs and stuff like that. How does it feel?
This is the heaviest gun I own.
Oh, really?
In terms of like ARs.
Yeah.
Super chunky, but I use that as a way to punish myself for being small.
Does it shoot any softer because it's heavy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely, yeah, it's smooth shooting.
Yeah.
Part of that is just the weight of the monolithic upper. The other part is the fact that I have like the lights and stuff out here on it. So.
Right, which is a cool point. If you guys didn't know, the upper itself, monolithic being one item, from the back of the upper all the way to the front up here is one piece of 7075 T6 aluminum. It's a super durable handguard and complete upper. And that means that if you are mounting stuff like iron sights, your optic, or even a laser out on the front, it's all a part of the upper, which is tied to the barrel. It's gonna hold 0. Whereas on something like this, you can swap handguard super easy. You undo 2 bolts, pop your pivot pin, and your handguard slides off. But that also means that the front of my handguard is a free-floating device on its own, and so things like mounting a laser you have to be cognizant of. It just changes a little bit about how the gun actually works, but Drew's getting bored again. Let's keep shooting. All right, guys, it doesn't take much for firearms to need to be involved in a real-life situation, but something that's even more realistic is the fact that food can run out. It's all of a sudden not being delivered to your grocery stores, or maybe you or your family just have ice on the roads or flooding, whatever the case is. You're gonna wanna be prepared with food. And for that, you're gonna wanna go to My Patriot Supply. Go ahead and check out preparewithdc.com, and that'll save you $60 with each month of food that you choose to buy and store. That food also lasts 25 plus years on the shelf, which is an incredible amount of time. Buy it, store it, save it for those real life emergencies.
All right, so 2 on seal from 3 different positions. 1, 2, 3, stand by.
Man, some mics in there.
Yeah.
Gosh.
19 seconds.
19? It's 11:45. Oh man, 21 seconds.
12:23.
One thing to note is these guns don't even cycle the same. And we'll pull these bolts apart and actually show you. It can be hard to do on YouTube, but we'll show you what we got. The AR, as in the LMT, when you actually get it, while it is a piston system, you're gonna get a different bolt, and your gas rings sit up at the gas block itself as opposed to back on the bolt. And your piston and your springs are actually causing that gun to cycle a little bit differently, but it still sits on an AR platform the same on your lower, your buffer system and your spring. You're still gonna be swapping those out just the same way. So if you have extra parts and pieces, like your buffer system, you can tune it the way that you typically do. Whereas on this MCX, it's designed a lot more like a AR 180 or a BRN 180, whatever that model is. Also kind of like an AK, kind of like a lot of other guns that have already been designed this way, where you have the springs sitting up on top of the bolt. And it has a little bit of a different felt recoil. It's shorter and snappier, kind of like a Glock 19, as opposed to shooting something like a Glock 34 just applied to a rifle. Now, if you do get something like this, making those modifications, changing your spring or your muzzle device, man, if you don't have the head knowledge of making some of those parts and pieces fit together, it can be a pain, and you're gonna have to relearn a different system. Well, as previously stated, getting a muzzle device swapped out on this MCX upper, oh my gosh, there's Reddit forums out the wazoo of people talking about and complaining, I ruined my upper, I ruined this barrel just trying to get the muzzle device swapped out. So if you already own a 5.56 suppressor and you're thinking, I'll just throw that on my MCX, not necessarily going to be the case. We got, I want to say, a little bit lucky, but I worked long, hard hours to get this thing off and was finally able to make it happen. Drew, any other thoughts on AR cycling systems and how those bolts actually function?
Nope. Guys, if you really like this build, our buddies over at Gun Mag Warehouse, they're big supporters of our channel. They have a lot of really cool things that we can't always talk about on camera or show being attached, but you know, things like optics and other accessories that are just really cool. You should go and check them out, Gun Mag Warehouse. There's a link in the description. And our boy Jeremy over there is just a solid cat. So go say hi, pick up some cool stuff. All right, let me miss this again. All right, so I've shot this gun a lot, thousands of rounds, but I haven't shot that yet, so let's swap.
Okay.
And do like a... Oh!
Give me my gun back.
Let's do like I guess a bill drill. Okay. It feels good. It's definitely punchier. Obviously not wearing it with the plate carrier would make it, you know, a little bit more, but yeah, that's not bad. Stand by, don't suck.
Okay, that sucked. Thanks. Let me run that again. Let me run that again.
I rubbed. Got a nice little ejection pattern.
Yeah, it feels good. There's something that LMT did about their bolts, where they actually allow chamber pressures to swell a little bit longer, so that the ejector and the extractor don't have to work as hard. And
here we go again.
It's funny, but you can actually feel that. First of all, the piston system, as well as the fact that you probably have this buffer system tuned for the gun, and that's not something that you can necessarily do nearly as well with an MCX, is have the freedom to start tuning things and making sure that, hey, I added a suppressor. While I have my gas block and I can swap that back and forth, it doesn't necessarily feel nearly as adjustable as taking parts and pieces and swapping parts out in your buffer system, right?
Yep.
Cool. All right, I got another drill I want to run.
Okay.
Course of fire is drop to prone, 2 rounds from here, run to the bench, 5 rounds in total. You know it's high to low and then low to high. We're starting at, just so the audience knows, 170 yards. Son of a gun. There we go. There's two.